I want to accept this award on behalf of co-founder of National Students of AMF, Ben Chesson, board of directors, our board of mental health professionals, our members around the country, students of AMF, and all college students coping with illness or death of a loved one. I'd like to thank Eli Lilly and the National Council for Community Behavioral Health Care for giving us this award and for this important donation. And of course, I'd like to thank my mom, Fajgenbaum, whose initials continue to serve as part of our name, AMF, and whose legacy in life will always be the inspiring piece of this organization. My mom lived the most beautiful life. She was the ultimate supporter to everyone, to me, to my family, to anyone who she met. And it's so wonderful to be able to continue her life on and her legacy by being able to be the shoulder to lean on and the hand to hold for thousands of college students around the country. Thank you for sharing my story of the experience I went through with my mom, and I'll just share a little bit more. So it was 2 weeks before I began my freshman year at Georgetown that my mom was diagnosed with a stage 4 brain tumor, and we really struggled with the decision of whether I should go off to school or stay at home. And my mom and I were incredibly close, and I didn't want to leave her side, but she really wanted me to go to school and to continue on with my studies, and I agreed to do it, and I made this tough decision to go to school. But as Chris shared, I went home every weekend, and the only thing that got me through my weeks was knowing that I would see her on the weekends and be with my family. But I really struggled to open up with friends and to integrate with my classmates. I didn't tell anyone, only my roommate knew what was going on with my mom. And over the 15 months that I was in college while she was sick, I really had a tough time. And in October of my sophomore year, after my mom was down for 15 months, we ended up having to put her onto hospice care because she really was not doing well. And it was the first time that we had a conversation that wasn't 100% positive about her beating this thing. It was the first conversation where she said, "Dave, I'm not going to be here forever, and I'm worried about how you're going to be after I'm gone." And I told her, I said, "Mom, I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to start something in your memory for other kids just like me." I really had no idea what I was saying to her at that time. I said, "Mom, I'm going to start it in your memory, and it's going to be called AMF." And like I said, I had no idea. I'd never thought about it, but all of a sudden I just made this promise to my mom. I went back to school that Monday, and what I didn't realize is that was the last conversation I had with my mom, and she passed away a week later. So when I returned back to school from Georgetown, I had just made this final promise to my mom, and I didn't know what AMF was going to be, but it was going to be something, and it was going to be in her memory. So I returned to school, and with the support of some incredible people on Georgetown's campus, like Betty Jacobs, who's here, and Phil Mileman, faculty and staff at Georgetown, who supported me along the way, I was able to work with them and countless Georgetown students to create something. I said, "Guys, I struggled with this. What could have been available? What isn't available on Georgetown's campus? What is available nationwide?" I got to work with other students like Julie, who's here today. And all of a sudden I started finding that there were so many other students that were going through the same thing as me. And there were even friends of mine who had never shared with me what they were going through. We didn't know we were going through a similar experience. Even though there were so many of us, we were all totally silent, so we felt completely alone. Pretty soon we developed a support group, a peer-led support group for students to connect with one another and to share about their personal experiences, and also a service group for students to channel their grief towards positive outlets. And finally, a mentoring program for faculty to serve as mentors to students in the support group. As Chris mentioned, at that point, students from other schools began hearing about what we were doing on Georgetown's campus. And my best friend, who's also a co-founder of AMF, started the UNC chapter. And that was immediately well received. And soon there was a chapter at Cal Berkeley, University of Florida, University of Maryland. And at that point, I was able to start doing some research and found that between 35 and 48% of college students have experienced the death of a loved one within the last 2 years. And on top of the prevalence, we were starting to learn about the deep impact that grief can have during the college years. Such formative years in someone's life can affect one's developmental stage, it can predispose students to mental illness and social isolation. So at that point, we decided to start a national organization. This is back in 2006, and We incorporated National Students of AMF, and since that time, we've worked with students from over 170 college campuses. We've started 43 now official campus chapters nationwide. We've had over 2,000 students participate in peer-led grief support groups and had thousands more participate in virtual support online. Sharing all these large numbers, you can sometimes lose perspective over what each one of those 2,000 students experienced and went through. And I brought Julie here with us. She was a member of the Georgetown chapter, and Julie was someone who started out with AMF at a time when she was unsure if she was going to be able to stay in school. She was experiencing a difficult time with her family and her father's illness, and she decided to give AMF a try. She immediately connected with another student in the support group, Ashley Turner. The two of them became extremely close friends. Julie was able to stay in school at Georgetown. She became the vice president of the AMF chapter her junior year, the president her senior year. Was able to stay in school, continue to make her dad so proud. And now she's a law student at GW. I'm just so proud of Julie for everything she's accomplished. So upon reflection over these last 6 years, there were 3 things that I really wanted to share with you guys today. And the first one is there really is true power in peer support. I know, and as a third-year medical student and someone who's always been a supporter of psychotherapy and psychopharmacology, especially Eli Lilly. I have to say, there's certainly an important role for peer support, empathy, and compassion that we all need to keep in mind when working with our patients and with our loved ones. Secondly, beyond the support group participation that we all know and the benefits that can be provided through connecting with other people, we've also found an incredible amount of therapeutic support that comes from helping others. And we found that whether it's being there for a friend in a support group, or whether it's channeling your energy towards starting a chapter, or going to a service activity in memory of a loved one, that there's a significant amount of therapeutic grief support that can come from helping other people. And we found this particularly to be the case with males. We have a hard time getting guys to come to support group meetings, and you guys know this is a society-wide issue, getting guys to open up, especially college students. We don't want to share with counselors or with friends, even family. But through AMF, what we found is that by providing opportunities for students to be there for their peers, or also participate in events like Relay for Life to raise money in memory of a family member who has cancer, we're able to channel their grief towards a positive outlet and help other people along the way. Third, college students are a resilient, passionate group who want to help one another. And a lot of times it's just giving them the tools and the opportunity so that they can move forward with strength and resilience. I'd like to close by just sharing with you guys about the vision that I have for AMF. It's kind of two-tiered. And one side of it is that I'd like to have a chapter on every single campus nationwide, a place where students can have multifaceted, targeted grief support during these difficult times in life. But on the other side, I would love for us to be able to make the impact through our work and through our awareness raising so that AMF isn't needed, so that peers reach out to peers, so that practitioners and psychiatrists and psychologists encourage students to be there for one another and encourage peer support and channeling their grief towards positive outlets. And as a society, we can talk about issues like this. So I encourage you guys to do your part and to help us as we strive towards this vision for the future. Thank you guys so much for your time.